Well, it looks like Kanye West isn't done threatening Kim Kardashian or her new boyfriend Pete Davidson. Kanye has a new song on Donda 2 called Security, and in the song he refers to the recent conflict that he has had with these two online. At his first listening party for the album in Miami, Ye premiered a ton of brand new tracks, including one where he speaks candidly about his feud with Pete Davidson. Since their divorce back in February of 2021, Kanye has been making many public statements about wanting to bring his family back together, but even with these public pleas, Kim is still trying to be declared as legally single. This mess between Ye and Pete really was taken to a whole new level after Kanye just started leaking private text messages. And it seems like one of Kanye's biggest concerns is Pete's potential relationship with his and Kim's children, which apparently provided some inspiration for Kanye's new song. He first spoke about the issue with Kim's security guards during his interview with Hollywood Unlocked. Kanye accused Kim's security of stopping him at the gate because Pete Davidson was allegedly in the house at the time. Although according to an insider, Pete has never even been to the house, let alone meet Kanye's kids yet. However, Kanye still insists that he was stopped at the gate by security when bringing his kids back home from school. He goes on to say, "But I didn't want to argue about it, so I just chilled, took my kids to school, and then took my kids back. I'm driving, I bring them back, and North was like, I want you to come upstairs and see something. And it's like, oh, daddy can't come see something. Daddy can't come inside. But that hadn't been defined. My daughter wanted me to go inside. I was like, I'm the richest black man and North's father, right? And the security was able to stop me from going into the room with my daughter, and that had not been defined." Kim's divorce lawyer Laura Wasser quickly followed up on this claim and gave a statement to the press as well that said, "Mr. West being kept from the children by security or anyone else is news to us. Both parties' priority has always been the children maintaining strong bonds with each of their parents throughout this transition and beyond." And the song Security seems to be heavily revolving around this scenario, or at the very least Kanye's version of what happened. In one part of the song, Kanye says, "Pop's home, I ain't getting frisked. I put your security at risk. Pop's home, I ain't getting frisked. I put your security at risk. I put the security at risk. Okay, we gonna make this an event. Y'all gonna need security for this." And throughout these songs, he repeatedly references the security measures that he believes are preventing him from seeing Kim and his kids. Since Kanye's earlier attacks, where he told fans to literally scream Kim Ye forever at Pete if they saw him outside, both Kim and Pete have reportedly increased their security. Apparently, the real reason why Kanye had such an issue with security at Kim's place is due to the fact that she replaced her entire security staff. She didn't want anyone that had previous connections with Kanye and therefore be more willing to just let him into the home. Ye continues in his song and depicts himself as freely walking into Kim's home to mark his territory, even suggesting that after just walking in, he would cook himself a meal while naked, presumably to intimidate Pete. In the song, he goes on to say, "I ain't getting frisked, I put your security at risk. I walk in the crib, no getting frisked, butt naked in the kitchen cooking grits. Tell your mama come give me a kiss, security gun needs security for this." And if you thought that was direct, in the second and final verse, he seems to point his lyrics straight at Pete Davidson, telling him in the song, "Never take the family picture off the fridge, never stand between a man and his kids. Y'all ain't got enough security for this." Kanye West is being heavily criticized online right now for his recent music video for the song Easy featuring The Game. In the clay animation video, we see Kanye, I guess, living out his fantasy of burying Pete Davidson alive. Just when you think we were past all of the threats after Kanye made that one apology, here we are with even more cause for concern. His latest video comes just a few hours after it was announced that Kim Kardashian had been declared legally single by a judge and therefore granted to drop West from her last name, which has been something that Kanye was fighting against for the last few months. He was throwing up all kinds of roadblocks to make this difficult for Kim. He would agree to the terms, then fire his attorney and suddenly have new conditions that he wanted fulfilled first. It was a whole legal mess that didn't seem like it was ever going to end. Many were wondering what the music video for this song would be, especially given that the lyrics alone were enough to cause quite the stir. Specifically the lines about God saving him from the crash so that he could beat Pete Davidson's, well, you know how it goes. Kanye also went after Kim's parenting in the song and even took a moment to comment on his kids being bougie and unruly. In one part he says, "I got love for the nannies, but real family is better. The cameras watch the kids, y'all stop taking the credit." And then speaking about his kids in the song, Ye said, "When you give them everything, they only want more. Bougie and unruly, y'all need to do some chores." So with the music video, people had to know that he wasn't going to be holding back. In the animation, Kanye kidnaps Pete and throws a bag over his head before tying him up and driving him around on the back of an ATV. The Pete-looking character is then seen all tied up in ropes and being dragged through sand before Kanye decides to bury him alive with only his head sticking out of the dirt. As flowers grow, Kanye cuts them off of Pete's head and then packs them into the back of a pickup truck, similar to the one that he had parked outside of Kim's house on Valentine's Day. And if you thought for a second that maybe people were just projecting and that there was no way for this to be a cartoon Pete, well, Kanye directed a message right at Pete in the very end, confirming what we all originally believed. In the final part of the video, Ye says, "Everyone lived happily ever after, except you know who. JK, he's fine." And you can see Kanye's nickname for Pete all scratched out there, and a lot of people took to social media to criticize Kanye for this video and condemn the graphic imagery he used to depict the demise of Pete Davidson. Many think that Kim and Pete should probably even consider a restraining order now. One person writes, "If I was Pete Davidson, I'd be genuinely terrified for my life. This is 100% a threat. Kanye needs help and Pete needs a restraining order." With another adding, "Kanye has hit a very scary point. If I was Kim or Pete, I'd be down at the police station filing a restraining order yesterday." Just a week after he had created a new Instagram account, Pete Davidson has officially left the platform, and Kanye West is taking responsibility for running him off of it. If you've been following the insane posts that Kanye has been sharing to Instagram, you know he's taking quite a few digs at Pete Davidson, the new boyfriend of Kim Kardashian. And it's clear to just about everyone that Kanye wants Kim back, and he thinks Pete is standing in the way of this happening. After Kanye made a number of posts about Kim Kardashian and Pete decided to retaliate by joining Instagram again and following just two people, Kim Kardashian and Sebastian Stan. Pete left Instagram back in 2018 after his split from Ariana Grande because it was taking too much of a toll on his mental health. After leaving his page blank for several days, Pete made his first post sharing a clip from his upcoming movie, The Home. He shared the clip and wrote in the caption, "They're letting me add my own dialogue to The Home. Hashtag welcome to my Instagram. Hashtag this is the type of stuff you can be expecting." Which made it seem like this would be the first of many posts on Pete's Instagram, but it did not take long for the comments of this post to be flooded with hate comments from Ye's fans. Most of them were calling him Skeet, and some saying things like Kim Ye forever. Only hours after Pete made this post, he decided to delete it along with his entire Instagram. Now when you try to search it, Pete's Instagram account shows up as deactivated. Kanye praised himself for the win on his own page, where he posted a screenshot of Pete's deactivated page and captioned it with, "Ran Skeet off the gram, tell your mother I changed your name for life." For a refresher on some of the posts that Kanye had made attacking Pete, Ye posted a text conversation between him and Pete where Pete writes, "As a man, I'd never get in the way of your children. That's a promise. How you guys go about raising your kids is your business and not mine. I do hope someday I can meet them and we can all be friends." Kanye also posted a screenshot of an Instagram live that Pete did with his friend MGK where Pete was in his underwear with Ye writing in the caption, "No, you will never meet my children." Ye also shared a screen grab of an internet rumor that claimed Pete sent intimate photos of Ariana and himself to her ex Mac Miller before his 2018 death. West captioned the shot with, "No comment." To many Pete Davidson fans, it's not a huge shock that he deleted his page because social media is not that big a part of his life. In a previous interview on the topic, he said, "Well, I don't really have Instagram, I don't have Instagram or Twitter or any of that stuff. So most of my daily life is getting into cars and showing up to a set. Or if I'm off, I just either hang with my friends or chill with my girlfriend inside, so I don't do much." An insider close to Pete said about his online beef with Kanye, "Pete doesn't really spend time on social media and fully doesn't want to get involved or be in the middle of Kim and Kanye. He supports Kim with whatever she needs and they try to not focus on it." Kanye West is objecting to Kim Kardashian's criticism that he is spreading misinformation about her on social media. In recent court documents, Kim claimed that her estranged husband has been causing her emotional distress by putting a lot of misinformation online. Just a few days ago, Kanye filed legal documents attempting to make his social media posts attacking both Kim and Pete inadmissible in next week's hearing. The hearing is taking place because a judge will be deciding if Kim can have her single status restored. Kanye is arguing that there's no way for Kim to know if he actually wrote these Instagram posts, adding that they're not just hearsay, but they're also double hearsay. Kanye's attorney explains further, saying, "Kim claims she read something online allegedly by Kanye and characterizes the post in her declaration as misinformation. Kim needed to offer these social media posts into evidence and show that the posts were written by Kanye." So the legal documents never explicitly say that Kanye didn't write the social media post, just that Kim didn't do all of the necessary steps to prove that he wrote the social media post. Ye's attorney continues and says, "Had that been done, the post would be admissible as statements of a party opponent. Instead, Kim argues a point that is not in the record. The statement is inadmissible hearsay, so Kanye asked that it be stricken." However, that's not all, folks. Kanye's lawyer is also saying that the prenup can't be viewed as valid, at least not for the moment. Ye's attorney says that there's a presumption in California that prenups signed after 2001 are invalid, and the only way that they can be validated is either during a trial or if both parties agree. And it looks like Kanye is saying that the prenup isn't valid, which means that this will drag on longer until an actual full-blown trial takes place. He's essentially doing anything and everything in his power to delay Kim from becoming single, because when that happens, it's truly over between them. There's no chance of her coming running back to him like he said would happen. Previously, Kanye agreed to having Kim declared legally single, which is a pretty routine procedure for judges, but one of his main conditions, even when saying yes to this, was that all of their assets had to be frozen for now. Now, taking all this into consideration, it's highly unlikely that the judge will listen to Kanye's lawyer. Restoring someone's single status is routine, like I said, and it's done to help divide assets. One thing is for sure though, there's absolutely no way that Kanye can claim his account had been hacked. If you remember, Kanye posted this picture, confirming that his account had not been hacked. Then in the caption he writes, "My account is not hacked. I will be at Sunday service at noon and will be taking North and Saint to the Super Bowl shortly after. At Che thinks I'll double whatever they're paying you just so you don't have to look at that pawn ever again. Big love." And that pawn he's talking about is Kim's new boyfriend Pete Davidson. And as his romance with Kim took over the internet, Kanye began his tirade on social media. Finally addressing the situation regarding North's TikTok page, Kim said in an Instagram statement, "Kanye's constant attacks on me in interviews and on social media is actually more hurtful than any TikTok North might create. As the parent who is the main provider and caregiver for our children, I'm doing my best to protect our daughter while also allowing her to express her creativity in the medium that she wishes with adult supervision, because it brings her happiness. Divorce is difficult enough on our children, and Kanye's obsession with trying to control and manipulate our situation so negatively and publicly is only causing further pain for all. From the beginning, I have wanted nothing but a healthy and supportive co-parenting relationship because it is what is best for our children, and it saddens me that Kanye continues to make it impossible every step of the way. I wish to handle all matters regarding our children privately, and hopefully he can finally respond to the third attorney he has had in the last year to resolve any issues amicably. For now though, we'll have to wait and see if this judge can declare Kim legally single without Kanye causing any more issues. In a bifurcation hearing, a judge has finally granted Kim Kardashian's request to be declared legally single amid her messy divorce from Kanye West. After filing for this 3 months ago, she will at last be able to drop the West part from her last name. Kim appeared for the court hearing via video call while Kanye was not in attendance. During the hearing, TMZ reported that Kanye's lawyer did not object to the judge restoring Kim's single status, despite previously saying that Kanye would only agree to this on 3 conditions. However, the judge only granted one of the conditions, which was the right to have reimbursement money divided up and preserved in the case that either of them passes away. The other 2 conditions that were rejected included Kim not being able to transfer assets that she had in a trust, and if she remarried, she would have to waive the marital privilege. That privilege essentially means that a new spouse would not have to testify about any communications that he had with her. In the closing part of the hearing, Kim also had to answer a series of questions known as the prove-up. 2 of the questions included asking if there were problems in her relationship and if she thought that her marriage could be saved with counseling. Kim ended up answering yes to both of these questions. A source close to Kanye also told TMZ that he was in favor of the status being granted because he too is now a single person as well, which has to be extremely frustrating for Kanye's attorney. Every attorney is trying to make the best case for what their client desires, but if you have little communication with your client and what he wants changes from hour to hour, how do you expect to get anything done? Or even if you do get something done, it could be viewed as the opposite of what he wants now. Recently, Kanye fired his 4th divorce attorney, Chris Melcher. From what I understand, the reason why this didn't last was due to Kanye wanting the divorce one day and then the next day wanting to fight for his family. As I mentioned, Kim has been wanting the judge to restore her single status since December. In the documents that she filed, Kim wrote that she very much desires to be divorced. In addition to that, she asked if Kanye could please keep the divorce private, which he did not. That's why we saw Kim pleading with the judge further that Kanye's misinformation on social media was causing her emotional distress. In response, Kanye's legal team at the time attempted to throw up as many roadblocks as possible. Kanye argued that there was no way for Kim to know if he actually wrote these Instagram posts, adding that they weren't only hearsay, but that they were double hearsay. Kanye's attorney explained further, saying, Kim claims she read something online allegedly by Kanye and characterizes the post in her declaration as misinformation. Kim needed to offer the social media posts into evidence and show that the posts were written by Kanye. So the legal documents never explicitly said that Kanye didn't write the social media post, just that Kim didn't do all the necessary steps to prove that he did. Ye's attorney continues and says, had that been done, the post would be admissible as statements of a party opponent. Instead, Kim argues a point that is not in the record. The statement is inadmissible hearsay, so Kanye asked that it be stricken. Kanye's lawyer also said that the prenup couldn't be viewed as valid because there's a presumption in California that prenups signed after 2001 are invalid, and the only way that they can be validated is either during a trial or if both parties agree. However, anyone with 2 brain cells could see that Kanye's team was just trying to stall this ultimate judgment of Kim becoming single, even if that meant embarrassing his kids on Instagram with all of this petty fighting. I guess Pete Davidson has had enough of Kanye's antics, and so to escape the madness, he's taking a trip to space with Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. According to a recent report, the Saturday Night Live comedian has been in negotiations with Blue Origin and trying to plan a trip into space. Apparently, he really hit it off with Jeff when he and Kim Kardashian painted his visit to his home. The pair would spend a little over 10 minutes at 100 kilometers above the Earth's surface. And a source close to the comedian told media outlets that Pete is very excited, however they could not confirm if the deal had been completed yet. The source goes on to say, "They haven't signed a contract yet, but it looks like it's going to happen. The details are being finalized. He got on really well with Jeff when they met." Back in late January, Jeff invited both Kim and Pete over for a dinner party at his $175 million mansion in Los Angeles. And Pete actually used this opportunity to get a ticket into space. If you missed it, Jeff first flew into space with his Blue Origin New Shepard rocket in July of 2021. On the flight with him were the pioneering female aviator Wally Funk, who became the oldest person to fly into space at age 82, his brother Mark, and an 18-year-old Dutch student named Oliver Damon, who actually was selected at the last minute because another guest had a scheduling conflict and couldn't make it. Imagine missing a space flight because, I don't know, he had a dentist appointment or something? Ridiculous. Lately, Pete Davidson has been the unfortunate target of Kanye West, and the problem with that is Kanye has a massive fan base that will just feed into this behavior. Therefore, in his echo chamber, he thinks bullying Pete is carte blanche. Because Pete is a comedian, I really don't think that the insults affect him that much, but man, that cartoon music video where he buries him alive has to make him a little bit paranoid. Kim recently showed some subtle support for Pete after liking a tweet from director James Gunn. In the tweet, James said, "For the record, Pete Davidson is one of the nicest, sweetest guys I know. A truly generous, tender, and funny spirit. He treats everyone around him with respect." And what's wild is James got some backlash for this opinion. One person even wrote, "Unfollowed," to which James replied, "Happy to lose you." And previously, Kim had stated that Kanye's actions were creating a dangerous and scary environment, adding that her fear was that it would lead to someone hurting Pete, which she says would then be Kanye's fault. And the only reason we know this is because Kanye shared those private text messages on his Instagram feed. So I really don't think that he fully understands what Kim is trying to say to him here. Kanye escalated tensions with the music video for the song Easy. In the video, a claymation figure standing in for Kanye is seen burying a Pete Davidson-like character alive. And this music video dropped soon after news broke that Kim was declared legally single now. The reaction to this music video was mostly negative for Kanye. Of course, his fans saw this as a work of art, but others were much more disturbed by it. One person writes, "Kanye West decapitating Pete Davidson in his new music video is absolutely disgusting and pathetic. The man's 44 and having a completely one-sided feud with this guy to this extreme, it's vile and so uncomfortable to witness unfold. He needs to be deplatformed like Trump." With another person adding, "We told you about Kanye West's disturbing actions toward his ex Kim K. Now a buried alive video featuring Pete Davidson. We can't be silent or silenced. We need men to speak up too and say no more."